Hello and welcome back to another Football Commentaries live stream. One of the most expensive games of football is upon us. A prize of £170 million is on offer for both sides who take that leap of faith back into the Premier League with a victory today. Huddersfield come into this game with a playoff victory against surprise package Luton in the semi-finals when a 1-0 second leg win was the difference after a Jordan Rhodes 81st minute winner sent them to Wembley. On the other hand, for Forest, it was a crazy clash with Sheffield United where after two legs it was 3-3, including extra time in that second leg. Penalties was the difference. Brice Samba saved 3 of the Sheffield United penalties to send Forest to Wembley for the first time since 1992. A ticket to the Premier League is what on offer today. Will Huddersfield and Carlos Corberán or Nottingham Forest and Steve Cooper be the side to get to the promised land of the Premier League for the 2022-2023 season? Like I say, it might be the second tier of English football, but in terms of money, it is the most expensive game in football. The prize is absolutely huge, and as well, if you go up, you get that £170 million. But if you stay up like Brentford, that can go up to £300 million, an extra £130 million on top of that. So it's absolutely pivotal that these sides win this game. And, you know, sometimes going again the season after, especially for a side like Huddersfield who finished 17th last season. Now this season they finished third, and they finished 20th last season. Sorry about that. You know, going again and getting these players to try and build the momentum they've obviously got this season after finishing third this season and then 20th the last season. When the game comes in this size and magnitude, you've really got to win it. I know that goes without saying, but two teams who have got the same objective to win today, you know, when you put so much on the line, you don't want to be that team who just fall a little bit behind. How to watch, it is on Sky Sports, this game. It's at Wembley. Obviously holds 90,000. That obviously split between the two sides of Huddersfield Town and Nottingham Forest. The highest ranked teams that finished in the playoff spots do meet at Wembley Stadium. Obviously first and second, Fulham and Bournemouth got promoted automatically, and Huddersfield Town finished third after leapfrogging Nottingham Forest on the last day, and then Nottingham Forest finishing fourth, just the 2 points behind Huddersfield, won the same amount of games, but lost one less than Huddersfield. But unfortunately, it was draws for Huddersfield that just got them above Nottingham Forest. But it's Nottingham Forest's first ever playoff final. In their previous 4 campaigns in the playoffs, they only got to the semi-finals. They could not progress any further into the final. So Steve Cooper again breaking records, just doing anything possible he can to really put himself in Forest history in terms of managers, and they've got a vain history of managers, Nottingham Forest. But Steve Cooper's come in, they were bottom of the league, he's took them to 4th place, playoff final, 80 points. It's absolutely ridiculous, and he's got a team playing his style, really coming together to succeed and to have success this season. And even if it ends in defeat, which will be, you know, not catastrophic, but it'll feel like a missed opportunity for Nottingham Forest. They've got to really grab it with both hands. And Steve Cooper, like I say, he's got his own experience of the playoff finals in the Championship. He was here last season with Swansea, who were obviously beaten by Brentford, who've ended up going up and having a really good first season. So Steve Cooper has been on the losing side of this fixture, and it's obviously not nice, but he's got another chance today. Like I say, if you asked him when he came in, when they were bottom of the league, would you take this Forest team to 4th? You know, he probably definitely would have laughed at you, but you know, it's a reality now. And same for Huddersfield fans, you know, like I say, the season before they finished 20th. Season before that, 18th. So it's not been a great few years for Huddersfield in the Championship, but they've sprung right to the top I'm going to quickly go through lineups as well as they are on screen. We'll go start with Huddersfield first. Lee Nichols starts in goal, signed in the summer from MK Dons. Naby Sarr comes in, didn't start in the second leg against Luton in the playoffs, but he comes in today with Tom Lees and Levi Colwill on loan from Chelsea, signed in the summer. I think it's a 3-4-3 with Pippa starting at right wing back, the Spaniard 5'9", with the two midfielders of Jonathan Hogg, the captain, 33 years of age now, and Lewis O'Brien also starts in midfield, 23 years of age, and he was heavily linked with a £15 million move to Leeds in the summer and even in January, but that was closed off after he signed a contract extension this season. Left wing back Harry Toffolo as well, 5 goals in his last 7 league games, 3 in his last 3. Ridiculous record in the league there to finish off the campaign. Obviously in the playoffs, it was the forwards who got the goals for Huddersfield, but in the back end of last season, before the playoffs, the left wing back was scoring all the goals. And then the forward 3 of Sorba Thomas, 50 appearances in all competitions this season. This is now number 51, signed from Boreham Wood in the National League in January of 2021. Danny Ward, who came off injured in the second leg against Luton, is available for this game. It's his 3rd playoffs with Huddersfield, one in 2011, one in 2012, and now one in 2022. And Daniel Sinani, Luxembourg international, joined on loan from Norwich for this season. He scored in the first leg for that 1-1 draw against Luton. He'll be looking for another goal. And the bench is Blackman, Turton, Pearson, Holmes, Russell, and Jordan Rhodes, who did get that winner against Luton in the second leg at home, but he's only available for the bench as they've gone for Danny Ward up front. Then for Nottingham Forest, Brice Samba in goal, the hero in the playoff semi-final penalty shootout against Sheffield United. He's got 1 year left on his contract. Steve Cook, Scott McKenna also make up a back line with captain Joe Worrell. Jed Spence, who's been heavily linked to Tottenham Hotspur, starts at right wing back as he's only on loan this season from Middlesbrough, making his 50th appearance in all competitions. James Garner and Ryan Yates make up the 2 midfielders, with Jack Colback, who's usually a central midfielder, but he's making a makeshift left wing back role, which he's done for the back end of the season, as Max Lowe, who's on the bench for this game, has been injured for the back end of the season. Another front 3 with Philip Zingernagel making his 50th appearance as well in all competitions. He starts just in behind the 2 strikers of Brennan Johnson and returning Keenan Davis. Didn't start any of the games against Sheffield United. Davis, as he was returning back from an injury, he also got at the back end of the season, and he replaces Sam Surridge up front. And then the subs for Forest is Ethan Horvath, Tobias Figueiredo, Max Lowe, who returns back on the bench after missing the last 12 games, injured. Cafu, the central midfielder, scored a penalty in the playoff semi-final. He comes on and is on the bench. And Joe Lawley also missed for Forest in that penalty shootout, is on the bench. Alex Myton and then of course Sam Surridge make the bench, as well as both teams have a little team huddle before we get off for this massive game in the Championship. It's the big one. Like I say, it's the most expensive game in football. And he's going to be taking the money and taking their spot in the Premier League for next season. As will be Nottingham Forest getting us underway, kicking from right to left. Forest kicking from left to right, Huddersfield right to left. Forest would kick off back to Steve Cook. Diagonal switch towards the left-hand side to Keenan Davis. Over his head, unfortunately for him, and out for a Huddersfield thrown in their own half. So yeah, Huddersfield right to left, Forest left to right. Quite a few empty seats in that Huddersfield end, and I'm sure Forest have packed theirs out. Steve Cook heads it forward up towards Davis again. Dealt with by Tom Lees, only hooked as far as Ryan Yates for Forest. Pass is intercepted, and Brennan Johnson loses out, and Sorba Thomas has got his first chance to run at the Forest defence. Trying to cut onto his right foot, brought down there by Yates, and the free kick has been given by Jonathan Moss. You may have seen him in the news recently, officiating his last game as a referee. Like Sorba Thomas getting away there, the Welsh international tries to get onto his right, and then a trailing arm from Ryan Yates stopped him in his tracks. Sorba Thomas is over it. High assist record this season. 16 in all competitions. He swings one in. Yeah, avoiding everyone there. I think he was aiming towards Tom Lees at the back. He also joined in the summer from Sheffield Wednesdays. They were relegated last year and he jumped ship to Huddersfield to make sure he's still playing Championship football. And next season he could even be playing Premier League football as we're playing out from the back with Nottingham Forest. Steve Cook signed from Bournemouth in January to bring that stability at the back and a bit of experience as well, Steve Cook. His only other playoff campaign was last season with Bournemouth. He was injured for the first leg, unfortunately, and Bournemouth were stopped by Brentford in that playoff semi-final last season. Bit of battling on the right-hand side here, and it's going to be a Huddersfield throw-in. I think that's Daniel Sinani who's won it, so it looks like it could be Sorba Thomas starting on the left-hand side and Daniel Sinani on the left, the man on loan from Norwich. As a ball's been played through here to O'Brien again, skips past Worrell, is caught. That's going to be another free kick given by Jonathan Moss. Early start for the referee, giving a few free kicks away. Joe Worrell, the captain. It's a good play from Sinani, played it through into Lewis O'Brien, and he's been tripped there just inside the centre circle, and it'll be a Huddersfield free kick. Lewis O'Brien, 50 appearances in all competitions. Not scored since late February against Birmingham. How he'd love to score in this one. They've got some of the big lads in the box. Sorba Thomas again swinging it in. It's helped on. Only into the hands of Brees Samba. I think it was Jonathan Hogg who got ahead on it. The Huddersfield club captain. Made club captain at the start of the season by the manager, Jonathan Hogg. Despite being captain in previous seasons, he got officially made captain at the start of this year. And what a season he's had, Jonathan Hogg. He's had to put a shift in as well at centre-back during the playoffs. They had a bit of a centre-back shortage, and Jonathan Hogg did play in central centre-back. Now he's back in his usual midfield spot. Toffolo heads it forward towards O'Brien. Gets into the Nottingham Forest half, but not very far because he's tackled by Yates, and Jed Spence can be sent away here down the right-hand side. Making ground in the Huddersfield half. Gets a cross in, cleared away by Sarr to O'Brien. Gets it forward to Danny Ward, who holds it up, the number 25, and releases it to Pipa, the Spanish fullback. Lifts it down the line looking for Daniel Sinani. Cut out by McKenna, cleared down the Forest left, and can be dealt with by Jonathan Hogg. Lays it back off to his keeper, Lee Nichols. Right-footed clearance up towards the right-hand side. A bit of holding and grappling between Colback and Sinani. And in the end, it goes over both of them, and it can be recollected by Scott McKenna for Forest. It's now with Samba. And both sides playing three at the back formations. As Brees Samba clips it towards Keenan Davis on the Forest left. Loses out on the header with Lees, but they've got a battle again here, and Davis wins it a second time, and he lays it off into Zinkernagel on the left-hand side, one-on-one with the Huddersfield right wing back. Chops onto his right foot. Here's Zinkernagel. Not got many options, struggling to find a pass. Does lay behind him to Jack Colback, then into Loney Garner, who swings across into the box. Header won by Colwill, and I think it's a free kick on him there. I think Joe Worrell just holding the Huddersfield centre-half on loan from Chelsea. Let's have a look here. Garner got it, swung it in, he was onside. Yeah, just got his two arms on the shoulder of Levi Colwill. He starts at the back for Huddersfield, number 26. He was on the bench for the first leg. Colwill against Luton, but then played the full 90 in the second leg. So it'll be Lee Nichols to take the free kick. Unbelievable from Lee Nichols as well, by the way. He only made 7 appearances in League One last season for MK Dons. Fast forward a season, he's now Huddersfield starting keeper. He's played 43 of the 46 Championship games in the season. Kept 18 clean sheets as well. Unbelievable turnaround within a season for the goalkeeper Lee Nichols, born in Liverpool, and has won the League One title before with Wigan in the 2015-2016 season. Steve Cook, long ball forward, headed up into the sky by Colwill, and he has to head it a second time out of touch. Is it? Yeah, couldn't quite be kept in by O'Brien there, and it's a throw-in for Nottingham Forest deep inside the Huddersfield half. But Jed Spencer take it, the right wing back, like I said before, heavily linked to a move to Tottenham in the summer. 2 goals for him this season. Jed Spence, as he sends away Zinkernagel down the right with the throw-in. He's been seen out, though, by Harry Toffolo. No real chance yet for either side. We are only under 7 minutes in, so understandably, there's not been that many big chances in such a big occasion as well. It's going to be a little bit cagey, a bit nervy as well, and especially for Forest fans. This is a brand new concept to them. Never got to a championship, never got to a playoff final at all. First time ever. Like I say, first time they've been at Wembley since 1992 when they played Manchester United in the League Cup final, which they were unfortunately beaten for them 1-0 that day. It's been a long wait to get back to Wembley Stadium as Sorba Thomas pinches it off the Nottingham Forest midfield and he bursts inside and he lays it off to O'Brien. Back out wide left to Danny Ward as they've now entered the Forest half and it's been stopped momentarily for a throw-in as Joe Worrell recovers and taps the ball out of play. They definitely do have that pace on the counter-attack, and when I watched them in the playoffs against Luton, that was one thing I definitely saw, their counter-attacking pace. It's where their first goal came from in the first leg, from Sinani on the counter, breaking quickly. With the throw-in, they've shifted it out to the right-hand side here. Here is Sinani, trying to get onto his left foot. Shifts it too late, loses out, cleared by Forrest. It can be latched onto by Johnson. He will give chase, but Colwell will get there first in the left-back area, and he just has to boot it out of play for a Forest throw-in towards the final third. He's going to be one you need to look out for. Brennan Johnson, he was close to a move in the summer and January to Brentford, but they were able to see that interest away, Forest, to keep him, and he's scored 16 goals this season. Unbelievable for Brennan Johnson. Scored in his last 3 games now. Scored on the last day against Hull, and then scored in both legs against Sheffield United. He'll be looking to get 4 in a row, Brennan Johnson, that's for sure. Spence throws into Yates, who gets the cross in towards the edge of the box, and it's way over the crossbar and out for a goal kick for Huddersfield. Couldn't quite work it on that right-hand side there. Nottingham Forest, which is probably their stronger side, you could say, with the likes of Jed Spence and Brennan Johnson usually peeling out to the right-hand side. But also Ryan Yates, despite an unsuccessful cross there, he's also scored plenty of goals this season himself from midfield. Signed a new contract as well this season up to 2025. And these two sides did meet in the FA Cup as well, you may remember. Played each other in the FA Cup for the first time in that competition since 1939. It was a 2-1 win to Forest in the end, and Yates scored and assisted in that one. So he's got recent good fortune against Huddersfield Town. As they get forward here, Toffolo zips it into Sorba Thomas, working himself away from the press of Ryan Yates, and works it to Toffolo again. Hogg, forward to O'Brien, loads of room to turn and get forward, and laid off into Toffolo, just a bit of a heavy ball towards Sorba Thomas. He apologises for the bad ball, but it's only a Forest throw-in deep inside their own half, so they can box him in here. Huddersfield as Carlos Corberán, the Spanish manager, barking out instructions. Got his first coaching job at the age of 23. Really started at a young age. The Spaniard is only 39 now. He's worked under the likes of Fabio Cannavaro, Ballon d'Or winner and defender. He also worked under Marcelo Bielsa at Leeds. Was the under-23 manager at Leeds for 3 years before a job arrived at Huddersfield Town, as Naby Sarr there's committed the foul on the Forest left, bringing down Philip Zinkernagel. Broke to him after a 1-2 with Brennan Johnson. Zinkernagel got ahead of Hogg and then was met by the 6'6" giant of Naby Sarr, the Senegalese, only making his 25th appearance in all competitions this season. The Senegalese came on late against Luton in the second leg, Naby Sarr, but did play the full 90 in the first leg. He's been called upon maybe for his height from set pieces for this one. Like I say, he is a man mountain at 6'6", But unfortunately for Huddersfield, is giving away a free kick in a dangerous area here. On the left-hand side, it's going to be right-footed Garner to swing this into the box. It's not quite the chance for the shot, but definitely for the cross. He lifts it in, goes all the way through. Yates flicks it on. Huddersfield have their arms up for offside. I'm not sure if it was given, but Ryan Yates had a free header there in the box. Great ball from Garner on loan from Manchester United. Oh, I think Sorba Thomas kept them all on side at the far post. Big chance. VAR is in operation, by the way. VAR is in operation. Craig Pawson, fourth official. Paul Tierney as VAR. And that's literally a millimetre wide from Ryan Yates before hitting the post. As Naby Sarr needs to clear this ball away. Just about does so in the 6-yard box as Davis was closing him down. It's now Brennan Johnson. Lays off into Jed Spence in the final third on the edge of the box. Back out to Johnson, everything to his left. Shifts onto his left foot. Deflected crossing. And Naby Sarr can just poke it away with his left boot. And a first major chance coming to Forest from that free kick. Ryan Yates' free header. Played on side by Sorba Thomas. And like I say, it was a millimetre wide. It was a very, very close attempt from Yates. He was looking for a goal in the playoffs for the first time. Didn't score or assist in the playoffs against Sheffield United in the semi-finals. But that is a huge chance. It really isn't far away. It's a great ball from Garner. Has the curl and the pace. He flicked it on, and that is so, so close. Whiskers away from Yates. Thankfully for Huddersfield, they can have a sigh of relief for that one. Brice Samba works it to Steve Cook in the Forest half. Closed down by Danny Ward. Works it to Joe Worrell, the right centre half. Cuts away from Sorba Thomas and goes to his left too. Scott McKenna. Signed from Aberdeen for £3 million in 2020. Scott McKenna making his 75th appearance in the red of Nottingham Forest. Still has it here and just lays it into Jack Colback. On the halfway line is James Garner. As Forest is starting to get a foothold in this game. But Huddersfield's usual style of play is getting on the counter-attack. As Jed Spence tries to take on Harry Toffolo. Tackled, but the ball fires back to Joe Worrell. So Forest keep possession as they work back to Brice Samba. Congo international. Never made an international appearance. The Forest goalkeeper at the age of 28 now. Garner into Steve Cook. 63rd meeting in all competitions between these two sides. Very, very close, but Huddersfield just about have more victories. But could that get closer with Jed Spence getting a cross in? Toffolo blocks, corner kick for Forest. Like I say, they want to close that gap for wins. Huddersfield are on 25 in this fixture and Forest are on 20. They want to close that gap to 4 victories difference. And under 15 minutes in, we've got a corner kick for Forest. First of the game. They've just come close from a set piece a couple of minutes ago. Can they get even closer this time? Maybe hitting the back of the Huddersfield net. Jack Colback, left-footed in-swinger it'll be. Just a moment for Jonathan Moss to sort out some of the barging in the box before Colback can swing this in, formerly of Sunderland and Newcastle. Jack Colback. You might remember his insane volley he scored against West Brom a few months ago now from the left-hand side. They could do some of that magic again. And it's an in-swinger towards the far post. The keeper completely misses it, but so does everyone else. And it swings behind for a goal kick. He got away with that one there, Lee Nichols. 6'3" build of a keeper, but he wasn't tall enough to get anything on that at the far post. And like I say, thankfully for him, everyone else missed it. It swung behind for a goal kick. You know, how many times you see people at the far post nick in and get a shot on at goal, but thankfully for him in his full yellow strip, he's able to survive with a goal kick. Most saves this season, Lee Nichols, 138. Second most clean sheets with 18. 20 in all competitions for the goalkeeper. 29 years of age. He's going to send this goal kick towards the Huddersfield left, where Daniel Senani loses out to Scott McKenna, who wins the header with a little bit of a consequence. He's gone down a little bit heavy, but he's straight back on his feet, the Scottish defender. who represented his country for 57 minutes in the Euros last summer against Croatia. Steve Cook, 11 appearances previously against Huddersfield, and he's won 8 of them, so he has good success against this team. As Colwill, poor header inside, giving a lot of O'Brien to do, but he's worked it to Hogg in midfield. That's really well worked until Hogg plays it out. Harry Toffolo couldn't keep it in, just a bit too far ahead of him. And this is good pressure from Forest to start this game off. Like I say, Huddersfield's style is usually to sit in and counter-attack, so it's not like this is anything new to them. But for Forest, I think they wanted to get on the ball early, get into their rhythm of play, and see if they can strike early on Huddersfield. In that FA Cup meeting, it was Huddersfield who took the lead, so they can also come back against this team. It's Naby Sarr, surreal side tackle there, using his long legs to clear it away, but it's not being kept by Huddersfield. They've given it away again in their own half, something they definitely have to be careful of. They don't want to be giving it away in their own half too often. It's just inside their own half is Steve Cook, the number 27. Played to McKenna, forced back to Brice Samba in the Nottingham Forest 18-yard box. Not much press from Huddersfield on the keeper as he clips it forward just beyond the halfway line, looking for Davis. Header won by Lees. Headed back towards Lees by McKenna. Does drop to the former Sheffield Wednesday defender, who gets it down the line up towards Danny Ward. Header won by McKenna, along as far as the Huddersfield midfield with Jonathan Hogg. Forced back to Tom Lees, the centre-half, who then goes once more back to Nichols. Into Sarr, has to turn very awkwardly, and he is brought down on the edge of the 18-yard box by Zinkernagel, so he wins a free kick, but that is risky from Nichols. Turned Naby Sarr, and he nearly turned into traffic. He's telling his teammates to talk to him, giving that gesture. He wants communication. He could have turned not just into traffic, but into dangerous traffic where his team could have lost the ball right on their own 18-yard box. But he won a free kick in the end, the Senegalese, and things to learn from. That's a very risky turn to make, but, he got away with it in the end as Lee Nichols from the free kick sends it straight into the hands of Brice Samba in the opposite goal. He was aiming for Sorba Thomas on the edge of the box, but he went over his head. And collected it was by Samba. And interestingly enough, in the meetings this season between these two sides, both got one win each, both away from home, which I found very interesting. Forest in mid-September beat Huddersfield 2-0 with Graben scoring and Nichols' own goal, the goalkeeper. And then on the 30th of December, before the new year, Huddersfield rocked up to Nottingham Forest's ground and snuck a 1-0 away win with Dwayne Holmes, the man scoring that one. And Dwayne Holmes will feel hard done by. He started the Luton second leg for Huddersfield, but he's been dropped to the bench for this one. The English international. He's on his 4th playoff campaign in his career. Just about at the 20th minute, and it's very much the same pattern of play. Nottingham Forest playing it along their back three, waiting for the space to occur. Now Jed Spence, number 2. Most games he's played under any manager is Neil Warnock. That would have been at Middlesbrough, who he's on loan from for this season. McKenna, ball into Davis, back to goal. Lays it into James Garner. Good striker play from the man on loan from Aston Villa. Garner sees the switch to the right for Jed Spence, who brings it down. Being forced towards his own goal by Harry Toffolo, and a poor ball towards Joe Worrell. He's nearly picked up by Danny Ward. He just about misses it, and Forest can get it forward. Great layoff to Yates by Zinkernagel. He's got Brennan Johnson to his right. He goes alone with a shot in the box, and it's way into the Huddersfield stand, where I'm sure a fan in about row Z may have just got themselves a free match ball there. Yates fancied himself to get a goal. Like I said, just bordering into the box. He decided to let fly, and maybe let fly a little bit too literally, because it was always rocketing into the Huddersfield stand there. But it's a shot you want to be testing the goalkeeper, but, at least they're getting shots away. Something that Huddersfield are struggling to do at the minute because, like I say, they are just camping in their own half, waiting for a counter-attack to be available. Danny Ward does hold it up nicely after bullying Garner off the ball, and the ball's been played forward up towards Sinani, well covered by Steve Cook. McKenna was caught out of position, and he was able to clear it away for a Huddersfield throw-in on the halfway, which has been taken, and it's now with Lees into Naby Sarr, who looks like he's playing in the centre of the back three. Pippa, clip ball over the top, looking for Danny Ward. I think he wanted it more to his feet, to his chest, than in behind. Danny Ward, he is a 5'11" striker. Got a hat-trick against Reading in mid-January when they won 4-3. 14 goals in all competitions. It's his best scoring season. In his career, he's pretty much a championship veteran. 279 championship appearances in his career, 56 goals. Colwill, strong tackle on Johnson. Can't quite keep it though as Yates helps his teammate out. But his ball forward towards Davis. He's cut out by Sarr. Got forward now. It's O'Brien. Loads of room to run into. Breaking the lines of this Forest defensive midfield. Gets it to Thomas on the left. Tries to get a cross into the box. It's blocked by Worrell. And Jed Spence towards the corner flag can kick it off Thomas for a throw-in. Like I say, they're so dangerous on the counter-attack, Huddersfield, when they get going, especially with the engine of Lewis O'Brien. I can definitely see why Marcelo Bielsa was after him when he was at Leeds. For that style of play, he doesn't stop running. O'Brien, when he gets going, it's always like he's got a constant engine running. Unfortunately, that one didn't work. His release to Sorba Thomas wasn't quite right, unfortunately. Worrell, long throwing down the line. Up towards Johnson. Loses out to Naby Sarr. Now Colwill will go back to his goalkeeper, Lee Nichols. In his 18-yard box again. Not being pressed yet. Forest just blocking all passing lanes possible. And Sarr has to try and find a pass of his own. He lifts it up towards Danny Ward, who just nicely lays it off into Colwill as they get up towards the halfway line. Now Lewis O'Brien. Huddersfield drives forward, clipped by Zinkernagel. It's another free kick for Huddersfield. They've won a fair few of them in the first 24 minutes of this match. Lewis O'Brien just holding his knee. Bit of a heavy contact with the ground as he was brought down cynically by Zinkernagel, the Danish international. Yeah, I want to say he was going for the ball, but he got nowhere near it, Zinkernagel. So it's definitely a Huddersfield free kick, that's for sure. Like I say, about 10 yards above the halfway line. So Sorba Thomas has gone back to clip this in. He's curled it towards the edge of the box. Header won in the end by a Forest man, all the way into the Huddersfield half with Pippa, the Spanish international for Huddersfield. They've been forced to get the ball out towards the left-hand side. Header won by Spence. Another header won by Yates. Second header won by Colwill. Poked away by Joe Worrell. Brought down and lost by Pippa, but then won back on Davis. And he works it back out to the left again to Harry Toffolo. And Huddersfield definitely know how to battle for the ball. Never give up the town. Sorba Thomas has been played on the left-hand side. He is right-footed, so he want to try and cut in. Goes out wide left to Harry Toffolo. Drilled in ball on the ground, dealt with by Cook with a clearance with the left boot towards Brennan Johnson, who's been stopped in his path by Colwill. But Huddersfield are the team who have got the free kick because Johnson was actually offside when the ball was played. Because that could have been a free kick for Forest. I think he just caught the face of Brennan Johnson there, Colwill. But like I say, the offside flag helps him out. Now Naby Sarr. Ball played forward. It's a really poor ball. Joe Worrell picks it up, and this is a chance for Forest to get forward. Worked out wide left to James Garner. Many plays back for Huddersfield straight away as Garner tries to break the line, but it's an intercepted ball. Lees was the one who got in the way. O'Brien down again after a late challenge in the midfield. Jack Colback this time. is there to be won. He just ran into O'Brien, who's really in the wars in the opening 26 minutes of this match. Jack Colback not having much sympathy for Lewis O'Brien, that's for sure. So it will be another free kick with Lee's taken, laying it off to Naby Sarr, who won the World Cup in the under-20 level for France in 2013. So he was once a France international, now represents Senegal. Sorba Thomas, first time ball. Looking for Toffolo, the wing back. Thomas again, back heeling, looking in behind, but it's well dealt with by Spence, who concedes the throw-in, but better than conceding a ball down his right-hand side. Toffolo, like I say, in the goals at the end of the season, scored 5 in a row in the 5 last league games in the normal campaign before the playoffs. As they've been forced back here with the press of Zinkernagel. Now back with Lee Nichols in the Huddersfield goal. Leaves it for Naby Sarr to take over. First minutes he's played against Nottingham Forest this season. Naby Sarr, in the league anyway. Didn't play in the home loss or the away win against Forest. Not sure I think that's what they're alluding to, and I agree. Keenan Davis is wearing gloves, the Nottingham Forest striker. Yeah, they're showing them again. I don't know if it's a ritual of his, a superstition where he has to wear them. It might bring him luck. I don't know, but it's a strange one there. Keenan Davis brought in on loan from Aston Villa in January, and he scored 5 goals for Nottingham Forest. This is his 22nd appearance for the club as Jed Spence nips in to take the ball away from Toffolo in the Huddersfield half. He breaks away with a cross into the box over the head of Johnson. Headed on by Lees, helped away twice with Huddersfield heads. Belongs as far as Garner. Great spray ball to Jed Spence, who might have a second bite of the cherry with another cross. A 1-on-1 with Toffolo. He's in the box on the right, trying to go around the outside. Diverts that option and goes back to Joe Worrell on the edge. Garner across to the left to McKenna. He's left-footed and he shoots with that left foot straight along the ground, blocked by Sarr. As far as McKenna again, who nods back to his goalkeeper, Brice Samba, halfway into his own half, where he keeps the ball moving with Joe Worrell in towards the halfway line. Yates into McKenna again. And Forest rebuild from the back. Only one real chance for Forest in this game so far, and that was a Yates header around 15 minutes in. And he was onside as well, as we do have VAR in operation for today's game. Like I said before, Paul Tierney is on VAR with his assistant of Ian Hussein. Cook to Worrell again, setting back into the usual rhythm of play that we were in a few minutes ago. It was broke up a little bit with Huddersfield battling in the midfield. Davis has been sent away down the Forest left channel up towards the corner flag. It's kicked out of play by Tom Lees of Huddersfield, and it's a throw in for Forest towards the corner flag. Like I say, it's incredible for Tom Lees. Literally relegated last season, playing the majority of the season for Sheffield Wednesday, and then is in a Championship playoff final a year later. Zinkernagel on the edge of the box, shoots with the right boot, blocked by Hogg, goes all the way to the right hand side to Spence, brings it down. Worrell, ball forward to Johnson, lays it off with a chest towards Spence. It's cleared though by the left foot of Harry Toffolo. And it can be recycled by Steve Cook, who has to turn back in the end and go back to goalkeeper Brice Samba. Diagonal ball. Oh, a knee out from Lee Nichols. Yeah, diagonal ball towards the Forest right, where Brannon Johnson gave chase, but Lee Nichols read the game well, and like I say, just with his right knee, cleared the ball out of play. Unorthodox, but yeah, like I say, as a goalkeeper myself, as long as that ball stays away from your goal, or if you're sweeping like that, it stays away from the player chasing, then you've done your job. You've got to race back to your goal as quick as possible. Cook out to Spence on the right, inside to Yates. All of the play, or the majority of it for sure, is in the Huddersfield half, which is what Nottingham Forest wants, but they've got to be creating chances. They know Huddersfield will come here to frustrate them, that's for sure. James Garner, who has to drop deep into his own half as well. Sprays it to captain Joe Worrell on the right-hand side. Been at the club now since 2011, Joe Worrell. The usual captain is Lewis Grabban, the experienced striker, but he's been injured for the majority of the end of the season, so Worrell's took over, and Sorba Thomas, what a bit of skill there. Can he send away Danny Ward down the left-hand side? No, he can't. Again, Danny Ward saying, I want it to feet the big man up front. Sorba Thomas couldn't supply that, but like I say, in the Huddersfield half, on the right-hand side, Forest just gave the ball away, and like I say, they can go from defence to attack so quickly. Huddersfield, you have to really be careful with it. And they've had a few chances to get on the counter, but misplaced balls have let them down massively. Thanks to everyone who is here. If you could like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. Great to see a good number of people in the stream. If we could try and hit 700 subscribers for this stream, that would be fantastic. I think the last commentary of the season will be coming next Sunday. It will be Grimsby taking on Solihull Moors in the National League playoff final at the London Stadium at West Ham's ground. So they're still goalless in this game. That's worth £170 million for the winner. Massive sum to take with you into the top flight of the Premier League. Somewhere that Nottingham Forest haven't been since 1999. That was their last season in the Premier League, and they finished 20th in that season, and they haven't returned since with a goal kick for Huddersfield. And Huddersfield haven't been in the Premier League themselves since the 2018-2019 season, and they also finished 20th in their last campaign as well. So both teams will want to get back into the Premier League and show that they aren't a bottom of the league side. They want to progress when they get promoted. Huddersfield surprised everyone with their campaigns in the Premier League. Spent 2 seasons in the Prem. Sorba Thomas down the left, takes on Joe Worrell, enters the box, needs to find the right cross, left foot, well parried away by Samba, away from danger. Toffolo keeps it in though for Huddersfield on the left towards the corner flag, bullied away by Jed Spence. Throw in for Forest. Toffolo wanted the free kick, didn't get it. But again, Huddersfield from the back. Naby Sarr saw a ball down the left channel and he got it to Thomas, who then with one touch lifted it over the leg of Joe Worrell, got in behind, got the pull back towards Danny Ward, the striker, but it was Brice Samba who parried it away well in the 6-yard box. But like I say, I keep saying it and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but they can go from defence to attack so quickly, Huddersfield. You need to be careful of it. Toffolo headed inside, but headed forward to Keenan Davis by Zinkernagel as it fell nicely for Forest in the end. Davis still has it with his plays making runs off him left to right. He holds it up and brings Ryan Yates into play. Now Jed Spence in the final third. Like I say, everything to his left. Couple plays in the box. Decides to go across to Yates. Back out to Spence. He has got Davis in the box as a bit of a target man, but they're not fancying crosses at the minute, Forest. Jed Spence, will he get one in this time? Looking to shape one up. 1-on-1 with Toffolo. Jed Spence goes back to the edge of the box to Worrell, the centre half. Then to Garner. And again, it's just frustrating for Forest. They are struggling to get crosses in the box and get in the box in general. Garner to McKenna. Colback. Garner again. So compact, so defensively solid, Huddersfield. It's quite amazing to see. They're really disciplined in what they do. Set up in a 5-4-1 defending, and the counter's on. Ryan Yates loses out. Lewis O'Brien nicks it, gets it to Danny Ward. Out wide left to Sorba Thomas. He's had the beating of Worrell once. He's going to try and take him on again on the outside. Still 1-on-1 with the centre half. Works onto his right foot. Brought down by Yates. And the referee doesn't see it as a free kick. Yates lost it, but he won it back for his side. That's what good midfielders do. Completes a 1-2 with Zinkernagel on halfway. And Forest can go again. I think Thomas will feel hard done by. I think that should have been a free kick for his side on the left, just outside the box. But the referee saw it as a fair challenge. I am a Wednesday fan. Come on, Forest. It's going to be 2 for Forest. Well, let's see. I mean, it's still 0-0. Hopefully the second half, the game might open up a little bit. both teams getting a bit more comfortable. Jed Spence, heavy touch. Not very well cleared by Toffolo, so it's straight to Joe Worrell. Like I say, you can see Nottingham Forest body language where they're getting frustrated. No space for them to get forward into where they create dangerous opportunities. Spence forward to Zinkernagel. Brennan Johnson's drifted wide right. Trying to cut in on his left foot. Has to go across to Garner. First time ball out wide to Spence on the right. Beautiful ball by Garner. Zinkernagel tries to take it on the turn. Cleared by Jonathan Hogg. And again, Huddersfield push out because they've got their man on the ball, and that's Danny Ward on the left, the striker. Being chased down by Joe Worrell. He's had a bit of work to do in the last couple of minutes, and he gets beaten by Danny Ward, the captain. Loses out for Forest, and then a strong challenge by Garner helps him recover. Concedes the corner, but that is one hell of a challenge from Garner. Let's have a look here. Danny Ward on the left. Took on Worrell, the captain, again. Got a bit fortunate with the way the ball bounced to him, but Garner saw his captain beat, and he was having none of it. A really, really strong challenge from James Garner, and it's what you love to see. Cruncher on Danny Ward. Danny Ward, a bit of a heavy touch, so allowed the challenge to come in like that, and he wins the corner kick for his side. The alone Huddersfield captain, he does seem isolated up there, but when he gets it, he holds it up well, and he can do things like that and win corners. Sorba Thomas, like I say, bags of assists this season for him. Formerly of National League side Boreham Wood. In swinger, right foot along the ground. Shot blocked over the bar. Danny Ward, the striker, peeled away. Got on the low cross. Definitely straight off the training ground. And Danny Ward, I don't think anyone was marking him because it was zonal. He was kind of on his own in that Huddersfield pack. Peeled away, left foot. I think came off 2 Forest players on the way through to get it over the bar. And another corner it will be for Huddersfield as we're nearing the end of the first half. Thomas again. This time it's gone for height. He zips it in. Header won by Yates. Still in the box. Headed on by Hogg. Who will it fall to? Ward. Toffolo. No. Spence clears. Huddersfield, I just got a feeling that they could do something here before half time. Huddersfield, they defended really well. And when they get forward and they get attacking, they look really dangerous. Like I say, thanks to everyone who's here. If you could like, subscribe, it would be fantastic. Great numbers in the stream right now. Let's see if we can get to 700 subscribers by the end of the stream. Here is Sorba Thomas from that throw-in. Plays it inside to Lewis O'Brien, around 35 yards away from goal. He goes to his right to Daniel Sinani. Bit quiet on the Huddersfield right, and his Pipa, the wing-back, into O'Brien again on the edge of the box. Driving at the Forest defence, and he gets it right in the corner flag here, and he keeps it in for Huddersfield on their right and plays in Pipa. Loses out to Colback for a goal kick. The Spaniard's confused. Colback put a challenge on him, and it must have come off him last, the Spaniard. That'll be a goal kick for Forest. There he is, the 39-year-old Carlos Corberan. Took over at Huddersfield in July of 2020. Coming up to 2 years at the club. His first season, they finished 20th. They trusted in the Spaniard, and they've reaped the rewards. A third place finish this season, and a playoff final with Naby Sarr winning it well. Forward by Hogg, touched on by Ward to Sorba Thomas. Worrell wins it this time, something I think he needed for his own confidence. Worrell, he'd been run ragged the last 10 minutes, and he wins his side the ball back again. And it starts with him 5 minutes to go until we find out if we have any additional time in this playoff final in the Championship. The winner gets that final spot in the Premier League. You know, we've got Norwich, Watford and Burnley coming down. We've already seen Fulham and Bournemouth promoted. See who will join them two and make a 3 to join the Premier League. It's Joe Worrell inside the Huddersfield half. Sees an audacious switch on towards Colback, header won by Pipa. And it rolls out of play for a Forest throw-in right outside the Huddersfield technical area. It'll be left for Jack Colback to take. Carlos Corberan getting his team to press. In particular, Daniel Sinani, who forces the ball back for Forest into their keeper, Brice Samba. He clears it up the field. Can't find Keenan Davis. Header won by Lees. Can't be helped on by O'Brien. It's Yates who wins it. Not brought down very well by Garner. It allows Huddersfield to clear back up the field. McKenna heads it down towards Colback on the left. Colback wins it and keeps it very nicely away from the Luxembourg international Daniel Sinani. He's got an option to buy. at the end of the season. He's currently on loan from Norwich. Got the assist for the Huddersfield goal in the FA Cup game that they played at Forest, where they lost 2-1, unfortunately, Huddersfield for them, in the round of 16 of the FA Cup. Yates out to Spence in the Forest half. Gets into the Huddersfield half with a ball through to Zinkernagel, trying to cut those lines. And the number 11, to Dane. Lays it back off into Spence, who's joined the attack. Goes across to Ryan Yates. Is there a run on in the box there? No, there isn't. They go across to the left to Scott McKenna. Garner. Colback. Yates again. Moving it well. Forest beating the press of Huddersfield. And they keep it moving again, avoiding the tackles. And they get it down the left to Keenan Davis. They probably want him in the box, but on the left he is. Goes back into Garner, who fancies a crossing, and it's been helped in. Yates isn't really claiming it, so I think it's an own goal. And the side who's been putting the pressure on in this first half of the playoff final in the Championship. And it's the first blood to Forest in red. Like I say, Ryan Yates is the one who tried to get on the Garner cross, and he's not claiming the goal. So I think it's come off Levi Colwill, the young centre-half on loan from Chelsea. And like I say, Keenan Davis on the left, got it to Garner on the edge of the box, whips in across. Oh, and it came off the knee of Levi Colwill. Like I say, it's put into the corridor of uncertainty by Garner. Colback ducked, came off the knee of Colwill, who tried to block the cross. And instead of kind of diverting it for a corner, he's put it into the top corner of his own net. Lee Nichols has absolutely no chance in that Huddersfield goal. Advantage Forest, and you might say deserved, because they are the team who've dominated the ball. Huddersfield have had their chances, but just before half time, it's Huddersfield 0, Forest 1, own goal, Levi Colwill, the young centre half. It's unfortunate, he was just trying to do his job and cover the run of Ryan Yates, but unfortunately for him, he's ended up diverting the ball into his own goal. And it's Huddersfield 0, Forest 1. Big goal before half time. Thomas, though, trying to get inside towards Harry Toffolo. Loses out. It's now Yates. Forward to Zinkernagel. Tries to go in behind to Brennan Johnson. Helped forward by Huddersfield, though, as they block that pass off to the Welshman. But what a big goal. Like I say, when the ball hit the net, Ryan Yates wasn't claiming it. So that led to the assumption that it was an own goal, and it was shown by replays by Levi Colwill. Very unfortunate. But he's helped it into his own goal, and Keenan Davis can bring it away on the Forest left here as Huddersfield lose out. Doing too much, Davis. Brought to the ground in the end, but the ball was unfair. Like I say, he just overran it there, Keenan Davis. As we are on the Huddersfield right in the Forest half. Loses out, though, there, Sinani. Offers the ball to Colback, and he takes it off him. And it's been well worked here to Keenan Davis. Heavy touch, just about keeps it moving, though, for Forest, as they have it now with Yates in midfield. Now Worrell, he strides forward. He's got Spence forward. Will he use the wing back? No, he goes across to Yates, and despite going behind, it is just before half-time, so I think Huddersfield just want to get in at 1-0 and regroup. And, before half-time, they may see a chance on the counter, as we've got 60 seconds left to play, because we've had 1 minute of additional time. It's now Scott McKenna, the Scotsman. Being forced back to Brice Samba, who's not really been forced to make many saves. He's had to parry a cross away. But in terms of an actual shot on goal from Huddersfield, he's not really been tested. But when a team in the second tier of playoff finals, when they've scored first, 31 of the last 25 of the last 31 times, the team who scores first usually go on and win. So we'll have to see how that goes. But like I say, no shots on target yet for either side. The own goal is the difference with the goal. But Huddersfield, one shot, and I think it was that cross. I don't think it was a real shot. As it goes down the Forest left, Jonathan Moss blows for half time. And in a game that's been heavily dominated by Forest with the possession, which has been given to them by Huddersfield, who have sat off and looked for counter-attacks. The breakthrough eventually came for them in the 43rd minute. A game of very few chances, very little quality. But right before half-time, James Garner on the edge of the box, zipped in across, looking for the run of Ryan Yates, and the man who was tracking that run was Levi Colwill, who unfortunately tried to divert the ball out for a corner, diverted it into the top left corner of his own goal, and he gifts Forest a first half lead in the Championship playoff final. It ends first half, Huddersfield 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Very interesting to see how the second half plays out. Will Forest keep their possession, or will Huddersfield get onto them a bit more now they're behind? For the pretty much the whole of that first half, they just sat off Forest, and that's why Nottingham Forest have collected almost 70% possession. It's been all Forest in the Huddersfield half as well, and Huddersfield, I'll say 2-3 times, have got on the counter and they broke away, mainly down that left-hand side with Sorba Thomas, but nothing's really come from it. They've had a few crosses in the box, but they've been dealt with either Forest defenders or Brice Samba in the Forest goal. So the game plan was almost working for Huddersfield in terms of, they hadn't conceded until the 43rd minute. They'd, looked dangerous when they were on the counter-attack, despite nothing really coming from them. But, a goal can change a game massively, and I think this is going to be one of those times where Huddersfield are going to have to try and come out a bit more because, despite being 0-0 for the majority of the half and doing decently with their counter-attacks, looking half dangerous, half dangerous isn't good enough because they haven't tested Brice Samba enough. So, like I say, that first half, you can all read into it a lot, the way that Forest were allowed to dominate. But the second half, I think, is going to be a lot different. I think you're going to see Huddersfield come out a lot more and maybe try and be a bit more form with the press. But remember, it is the first half. You don't want to tie yourself out straight away, especially when you're not the team with the ball. If you press too much and too vigorously, you lose energy, you get tired quicker, and you can't quite, press the way you want to at the end of the game when it really matters if you are trailing. So, like I say, I don't think Carlos Corberán, the Huddersfield manager, will be too disappointed. I think he'll be frustrated with the way that his team's gone behind at half-time. Obviously, it's an unfortunate goal to concede, but they were very solid for the majority of that first half, Huddersfield. So I think he'll take positives from that, but he will realise they are behind now and they need to find a goal from somewhere. And I don't think Steve Cooper will be too happy with Forest. I mean, the goals come very fortunately through an own goal. They've been pretty slow in possession, not getting many crosses in towards Keane and Davis. Had a few chances, not even had a shot on goal yet. So, like I say, I think weirdly the team behind will be okay with their performance despite going behind. Their game plan pretty much works, but unfortunately, no goal is upset that game plan. And I think Forest will and Steve Cooper will be wanting more. Quicker intensity play, get more crosses in, break the lines more. Stop playing into the hands of Huddersfield, which they were doing for the first 42 minutes of the game until a cross in by Garner was met by the defender of Levi Colwill. So, like I say, both teams will look at the game differently. We'll come out in the second half, and I think we'll have a really exciting second half. Obviously, I know the first half was pretty slow, and not one that you really want to, not one that's very enticing. But I think the second half will be completely different. I swear I wrote first half somewhere. Yeah, like I say, I knew Huddersfield would sit back, but I didn't think they'd sit back quite like they did. They were really each their own, in terms of style of play. But I just didn't think they'd sit back as much as they did. For the second half, I will add what half it is. So second half coming up. But thank you to everyone who is here. Great amount of people in the stream. Obviously I know some people will leave now for half time, which I understand. But if you are leaving, the stream for half time. Make sure you do return and come back for the second half, which is still very much in the balance. Like I say, it was a game of very few chances. The analysis has gone straight to the goal, which was in the 43rd minute, which I think says a lot about the amount of chances in this game. Like I say, Garner, you can just tell he's a few levels above some of the players. He understood, Garner, that a lot of Nottingham Forest's moves weren't really going anywhere. They tried to go out wide. Each flank wasn't working, being forced back to their goalkeeper. So he thought he'd give a cross a go in the box, maybe, ask a question of the Huddersfield defence. And he did just that, asked a question. And Levi Colwill couldn't answer it, and he's put the ball in his own net. Just a different approach, which I think helped, because, like I say, he was just side to side, left to right for Forest. No crosses going in, not really being able to create many chances. And like I said, Garner's kind of flipped the switch a little bit, gone for something different. He's put the ball in the box and he's reaped the rewards of a goal. And a goal that could be worth £170 million for Nottingham Forest come the end of the match. He's been involved in many big games this season. You've got to remember Nottingham Forest had a great FA Cup run, played Huddersfield in the round of 16. Before that, they beat Arsenal, Leicester, Huddersfield, knocked out by Liverpool, unfortunately. But the first big chance of the game did come in the 12th minute with Yates, who was the one who put the pressure on Colwill for the goal. He headed just wide in the 12th minute, it was. And I mean, it was whiskers wide. And there is VAR in this. And Huddersfield all had their arms up for offside, and he wasn't even offside because Sorba Thomas pushed out late. And then, the only real Huddersfield chance you could say was the Ward chance, which they're showing now. It was in the 38th minute, so 5 minutes before the goal, where Sorba Thomas put in a low cross in from the corner, caught out the Forest defence. Danny Ward got onto it and struck it, and it was deflected over the bar. Not really testing Brice Samba at all, to be honest. I mean, it was blocked twice before it even went over the bar, that chance for Huddersfield, so they've got to create more. That's their only chance. That's the only shot they've had on at goal in this half. Second half coming up very shortly. But like I say, next commentary, I think it's going to happen, is going to be my first National League game. National League playoff final. It's at London Stadium, and it's going to be Grimsby versus Solihull Moors. If you haven't seen the National League playoff semi-finals, even the quarterfinals earlier on in the week, it's been absolutely crazy. You may have seen Wrexham and Grimsby have one of the greatest games of football ever, just in terms of drama. It ended up Wrexham 4, Grimsby 5 after extra time. So Grimsby, who also got to that playoff semi-final by beating Notts County away 2-1, scoring an equaliser in the 96th minute to get it to extra time, and then scoring their 119th minute winner. So that should be a fantastic game. Then Solihull Moors beating Chesterfield at home today to get to that playoff final. So it should be a really, really good game next week. So if you haven't ever seen a National League game, or you're interested, I'd definitely tune in and have a listen. And if you can get the game on, definitely tune in next week. Turn volume up your okay. I need to capital letters me. Okay, that's fine. I'll turn it up. I just don't need it too loud, because sometimes when I'm commentating and I shout, it makes the mic sound a bit funny. But no, I'll turn it up, mate. No problem. Cheers for letting me know with your capital letters message. Sometimes, like I say, if I turn it up too much, like I say, the mic sounds rubbish when I start shouting into it when there's like a big chance or a goal. So cheers for letting me know, Joe. Cheers. I'm hoping this game starts to open up, because that first half, it was okay. I mean, Huddersfield obviously set up with the intent of counter-attacking, which I understand, because that's their style of play, clearly, especially against teams who like possession, like Forest. But, the only chance that we could dissect from the first half was a well-worked corner, which really didn't go anywhere near the goal in the end, and that was in the 38th minute. I mean, they had very few actually quarter chances breaking away on the counter where they broke away and it looked really promising, but nothing came from it, not even a cross towards the box for a striker, or anything. So Huddersfield definitely needs to improve, that's for sure. But like I say, thanks to everyone who's here. Make sure you like and subscribe. Want to hit 700 subscribers by the end of the stream. So we're 7 away. So if you're not subscribed, please hit the button. It takes 2 seconds and it helps me out massively. So like I say, 7 subscribers away from that. And if you could like as well, that'd be fantastic. It is the end of the footballing season next week, for sure, with the National League playoff final. It'll be my final commentary of the season before a break for what would be about a month or two, and then, like I say, next season straight back on it. This will be my 3rd season commentating, coming to 4th season. So, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it more every season. So, like I say, make sure you're here for next season's games. We're trying to cover a lot more leagues. I want to try and cover every league possible. It will be my A-level year though in college, so commentaries will be at a minimum. But when I do, I might try and vary it. Premier League, obviously. Championship, maybe even League 1 or 2, French League, Italian League, Bundesliga. I want to try and cover quite a few leagues and competitions. So make sure you are subscribing and liking, like I say, commentaries every season now. Try and do, try not to do the obvious big games. Try and mix it up every now and then. So if you could like and subscribe, that would be absolutely fantastic. As the second half is going to get away in a couple of minutes' time. So make sure you sat down, ready to endure another 45 minutes where these two sides try and buy a ticket into the into the Premier League. Like I say, they've got through the semi-finals. They've now got to a final at Wembley. Just one more push for both sides. That's all it is. It's 45 minutes there. Full season, 46 championship games, 2 playoff games. So 49 games this season now for these two. And it could all come down to 45 minutes of football. Obviously, there will be extra time if it is level after the 90 minutes. Yeah, extra time, then penalties. That would be something else, wouldn't it? If you got some penalties, and when Huddersfield were promoted in 2017, they played Reading, and they got through on penalties. It was 0-0. After 120 minutes, unfortunately, that won't be the same. It won't be 0-0, but they won 4-3 on penalties, and it's Reading. I think they'll definitely take another penalty shootout victory again, Huddersfield or Forest. I don't think they care how they get promoted, as long as they're up in the Premier League next season. I think that's all they care about. Nottingham Forest in great voice, especially with their team being the dominant side, and ended up getting in the lead just before half-time. But yeah, second half underway in just a couple minutes' time. Like I say, great numbers. Really great numbers for this stream. Like I say, unfortunately, football is coming to an end for a few months. Should have had a World Cup this summer. But what can you do, unfortunately? It's in Qatar in November, December, which I'll be doing commentaries for. But yeah, it's going to be strange next season, starting off the season, have a break for the World Cup. And then back playing again. It is strange, it really is, but money talks, doesn't it, in football? So a World Cup in December, it is what it is. Hopefully England can come through and bring it home. We've been saying that for many years, since 1966. So it's the hope that kills, isn't it, for English team, for England, that's for sure. 1-0 Forest. Like I say, it's Forest who have got the upper hand in games against Huddersfield. They've won twice. One at home in the FA Cup, then one away in the league, and then Huddersfield beat Forest away in the league just before the new year. As I think Huddersfield are the first team back out where both teams will be attacking their own fans in this second half. And I wonder what he's been saying. Carlos Corberan, like I say, worked with Marcelo Bielsa at Leeds, and in the build-up to this match, the Huddersfield manager did say, I've spoken to him, Bielsa, a lot. We spoke in the last week. We spent good time talking. So he's been contacting his people that he knows, and it's not a bad person to be able to ring up in the week of a big game like Marcelo Bielsa. Unfortunately, it didn't quite materialise for him at Leeds in his second season at Leeds in the Premier League. But like I say, he's also worked under Fabio Cannavaro as well. Carlos Corberan, yet to win a trophy as a manager. This would be his first technical trophy. I mean, it's not really a trophy, a playoff, is it? But you do get one for it. Like I say, both teams are now back out. Huddersfield kicking from left to right. Nottingham Forest right to left. Each team kicking towards their own fans. As Scott McKenna brings the clearance from Huddersfield down and plays it forward to Keenan Davis. Tries to take on Jonathan Hogg. Turns back and plays it into Steve Cook to keep possession for Forest as we are back underway in this Championship playoff final as Joe Worrell tries to play through Jed Spence in behind, blocked off and won. Now with Lewis O'Brien. Ball forward towards Danny Ward, strong tackle by Steve Cook. The ball's bouncing around and it's brought down by Daniel Senani, who's been brought down illegally, says Jonathan Moss, and that'll be a free kick for Huddersfield Town. So defending to do for Nottingham Forest early in this second half. Sorba Thomas, he's had quite a few set pieces in this game, but none of them's quite materialised into a big scoring chance. The closest one we've had was that corner in the first half. And he dinks this into the box. Header can't be won by Lees. Does fall though to Danny Ward. Poke back forward to Lees again. Works out wide right. In the end for Huddersfield, it's with Daniel Senani. Left foot. Loops it in. Oh, good punch by Brice Samba. Out to the left of Sorba Thomas, who can get the ball back in the box for Huddersfield. Great ball in, bit of pace, but unfortunately it falls straight into the hands of the DR Congo international, Brice Samba. Oh, and here we go, Colback, down the line to Zinkernagel. To Johnson, works it away from Pipa. Zinkernagel. Johnson as they just slow it down again. Forest, and they're going to work their way towards the Huddersfield back line as Yates fancies a strike from afar, and it's easily dealt with by Lee Nichols. Jackson, Jackson, oh, you're alright, mate. 2 minutes in, looks like Huddersfield are trying to be a bit more on the front foot, and they've really strided into the Forest half, but they lose out with Colback with a good tackle on Pipa, the Spanish fullback. Been at the club since 2020, the Spaniard. Got a year left on his contract. Came through the youth system of Espanyol. Yates, first time ball. It's an adventurous one, looking for Brennan Johnson in behind, but it's going to be headed back to his keeper by Naby Sarr, who did win the Portuguese league with Sporting Lisbon on loan back in 2014-2015. Naby Sarr did feature in that season as well. And here he is on the ball. Left foot, diagonal ball. Looking in behind for Sorba Thomas, and the Welshman wasn't far away there. Made his Wales debut, Sorba Thomas, back in October of 2021 against the Czech Republic. And that was just under a year since his last National League game, which was on the 12th of December 2020. So literally under a year later, he was then playing for his national team, Wales, which is just crazy. It's a great rise to near the top for Sorba Thomas, and he could really put the icing on the cake with a Premier League season next year. Strong tackle in the midfield by Joe Worrell. Plays it forward, looking for Zinkernagel, but it's cut out by Naby Sarr, and Huddersfield try and get away on their right-hand side again with Pipa. Just about keeps it away from the Forest players. It's now Lewis O'Brien into Sinani, turns into traffic, and loses out as he trips over Ryan Yates in the midfield. Poorly given away there by Sinani, scored to put Huddersfield ahead in the semi-final against Luton in the first leg. And I think he'll be the first one to come off if a change is decided to be made. He's had the fewest touches so far in the game of any player. Great ball to Johnson on the right. One-on-one with Colwill, who conceded the own goal, but he's defended Brennan Johnson well there, and he clears with the left boot. Header inside to Lewis O'Brien by Sinani, but they lose out. Worrell plays it forward to Colwill. Huddersfield clear. And again, looking for Sorba Thomas, who will give chase, but it's straight into the hands again of Brice Samba. Looking for Sorba Thomas quite a few times, Huddersfield. Sorba Thomas literally has fallen and risen back up. He was released by West Ham in January of 2016 and then went clubless until Boreham Wood and their under-19s took him in the June of 2016 and stayed at Boreham Wood until that move to Huddersfield in the January of 2021. It's 5.5 minutes into the second half. Huddersfield are the team that need the goal. On the way with Sorba Thomas, and that ball down the Huddersfield left channel is towards absolutely nobody, and that will be a goal kick for Nottingham Forest. He's frustrated there, Thomas, because whatever run he thought was being made wasn't. And he's quick to press McKenna. Callback inside to Garner. As Forest are playing out from the back. McKenna, first iron clearance up the field, looking for Davis, brings it down, holds it up beautifully, and Garner looks to send the ball down the left-hand side. Way too much on it, and it will fall straight to the hands of Lee Nichols. And the goal of Huddersfield, and he lays it off quickly to Nabisar, and the tall centre-half will bring it forward for the Town. Sinani dropping deeper for the ball, laying it off into Toffolo. Lees to Sarr again. Huddersfield enjoying a little bit of possession on the ball, which they haven't had much of in this game so far. It's been worked out to the left. To Toffolo. O'Brien tries the 1-2, headed away by Jed Spence. As far as Hogg, who heads back forward again. Loses out to the head of Joe Worrell, and it falls to Garner, who evades one challenge and plays it forward into Davis, who tries to get beyond Lees, and he does do so with some great skill. Davis charges down the left, gets the ball across in the box, well dealt with this time by Colwill. And Sarr has to clear away, only as far as Spence, as they've got momentum behind them here with the crowd behind this goal, Forest. Worrell to Jed Spence on the right, one-on-one with Harry Toffolo. A few step overs, try to go around the outside, works across, deflected for a corner. Wasn't sure if it came off Toffolo or not there, as he tried to match the run of Jed Spence, but it was a great start and a great run from Keenan Davis on the left. Good ball across, but it was well covered there by Colwill, and then from there, Sarr's clearance went to Spence, and they got the cross in, and they've won a corner here as they try and double their advantage. Left arm raised from Garner, outswinging corner, headed towards McKenna, dealt with, edge of the box, call back, lays it off into Zinkernagel, weak shot, cleared by O'Brien. And here we go, the break could be on here for Huddersfield. Jed Spence has to deal with it. He's getting chased down by O'Brien here, who's not giving it up. But Jed Spence deals with it nicely, avoids the tackle, and he sets his team away again. Garner on the right-hand side. Works towards Johnson, well dealt with by Colwill. And great ball, breaking the lines. And O'Brien switch out to Sorba Thomas on the right. And this is Huddersfield's chance now. Thomas cross towards the box where he can't find Danny Ward, but he gets a second chance here as the clearance has gone straight back to the Welshman. Cross it goes to O'Brien. Hogg the captain. So O'Brien charges forward, gets beyond Zinkernagel, and he's blocked off by Ryan Yates. 2 challenges there, 2 fouls, and it's going to be Zinkernagel to pick up the booking. Multiple fouls is the reason Jonathan Moss has got his cards out. Like I say, Philip Zinkernagel, on loan from Watford. He committed the first foul on O'Brien, stopping him in his tracks, and also Yates have stopped him as well, but he was pulled back for the first tackle. Amazing amount of people here, by the way. Make sure if you aren't liked or subscribed, please do so. With this amount of people, and it would really help me out if you could hit that like button and the subscribe button as well. Trying to hit 700 subscribers by the end of the stream. Not for the first time, I've said this, but Sorba Thomas has got a set piece. Not many of them have been successful. He has collected many assists this season. 12 in the Championship as his ball goes towards Naby Sarr. But unfortunately for him, he was under pressure from a Forest defender, so couldn't quite get the header on target. And now behind it went for a goal kick, which tried to be taken quickly, but header won by Toffolo on Brennan Johnson, who invites too much of the ball to Spence. But then he loses out and he wins the ball there. Toffolo, and Huddersfield look to get forward again. Hogg out wide right to Pippa. Thomas, who's gone from the left wing to the right wing position, on the edge of the box. Cross, dinked in beautifully, good weight on it, and it's been forced behind by Jed Spence for a corner. Huddersfield looking a lot better there. Sorba Thomas looking a lot more influential on the right-hand side than he was on the left-hand side in the first half. Good weighted ball in, looking towards Danny Ward. Went over his head, and Jed Spence had to chest it behind because Harry Toffolo was behind him. And the Huddersfield fans getting up for this one now. 10 minutes into the second half. And here we go. In-swinger. Thomas helped on by Hogg over the bar. Big chance for the captain. Jonathan Hogg at the age of 33 now. He played all the minutes in the last campaign for Huddersfield in the playoffs, where they were obviously promoted. Against Reading in the final, as Naby Sarr's been replaced. Naby Sarr comes off and John Russell comes on. So we've had a shift in the system. Jonathan Hogg, who's been playing central midfield in this game. In his previous 5 games, 4 today, including the league and the playoffs, he'd been playing in that central centre-back role. He's playing there again. So Hogg has been dropped from midfield into central centre-back, and John Russell has come on, the central midfielder, joined in the summer on a free from Chelsea, comes on to play midfield for Huddersfield. John Russell, 6'4" tall midfielder, signed on a free in the summer from Chelsea after being on loan in League One at Accrington last season. Huddersfield snapped him up on a free, and he's going to play the last half an hour or so of this playoff final. Like I say, Hogg's gone into centre-back, like he has done for the previous 5 games of the season. And John Russell comes on, the centre midfielder. You've got 180 minutes against Luton, so he probably felt hard done by. Volume up. It can't be that quiet, surely. Right, I've turned it up a bit more. Like I say, when I start shouting down the mic, you'll understand why it's a little bit quieter. Break on for Huddersfield. Here he is, John Russell, the substitute, gets it through towards Thomas. He'll get there ahead of Garner. First time cross has to be dealt with by the side challenge of Scott McKenna. And Huddersfield fans are really starting to grow into this game alongside the players. Got something to cheer about now. Constant attacks for Huddersfield at the start of this second half, which has been needed because they trailed at the break. An own goal by Colwill. Unfortunate it was, but an own goal it happened to be. O'Brien tries the 1-2 with Sinani. Loses out. And Worrell ends up getting it back to Brice Samba after Sinani's challenge on him. I'm going to say they lost the height in the box of Naby Sarr when coming off, but John Russell's come on the central midfield. Like I say, 6'4". He is a bit of a giant himself in that midfield. He really is, as he bundles down Ryan Yates there on the halfway line. And he's felt that one. Yates. on John Russell. The substitute, like I say, on loan at Accrington last season. Two championship goals for him. Jed Spence inside to Yates. He's back on his feet after that challenge from John Russell. 1-2 with Zinkernagel. On the halfway line, Steve Cook. Signed from Bournemouth in January. McKenna. To Davis in the box. Back to goal. Tries to turn forward. Not allowed by Lees, but it's fell to Garner, who's shot from afar. An easy save again from Lee Nichols, who rolls it out quickly to his left. It's now Harry Toffolo, who's been in the goals in the league before this playoff campaign. Scored 5 in a row, and he's played the ball out of touch there on the left. Trying to move things along too quickly there. Harry Toffolo, like I say, wing back. Excluding the playoffs. 5 goals in the 7 games. 3 in his last 3 it was. Unbelievable numbers for Toffolo, like I say. Also pitched in with assists this season. 4 of his 7 in the Championship did come in December. In 4 separate games in a row in that month. As Brees Samba clips it up. I'm presuming towards Davis. It is. He flicks it on. Only as far as Tom Lees, who goes back to his goalkeeper, Lee Nichols. And here's Jonathan Hogg, the captain. And this captain of Jonathan Hogg, who became club captain at the start of this season, he did say he found similarities in this team with the team that got promotion in the last playoff campaign in 2017 to get to the Premier League for the first time, Huddersfield. He said the togetherness and the mentality are the attributes that are in common with both teams. Will this team have that mentality to turn this game around and get to the Premier League once again? Davis tries to hold it up, but his heavy touches fell to Sinani. And Huddersfield have it in the Forest half. O'Brien into Toffolo. John Russell turns forward, very calm on the ball, John Russell, and he gets out to the right to Pippa. Sees a run in the box, aims for Danny Ward, header won by Steve Cook. Headed down by Zinkernagel to McKenna on the edge of the 18. He clips it forward to Davis, who chests it down nicely, lays it off behind him into Garner. Heavy touch, invites the tackle, but he just about shifts it away from the shirts in blue and white. And Forest keep the ball. Just about as Jed Spence has to keep it in on the right-hand side. And Joe Worrell just hurries it down the right-hand side and headed inside by Colwill to John Russell, as Huddersfield again back in possession. Definitely flipped the switch a little bit in this second half, Huddersfield, in terms of possession anyway. Seeing a lot more of the ball than they did in the first half, as they've won a free kick there. O'Brien, who's been on the deck many times. This time it's Joe Worrell who sent him to the ground. And they've worked it quickly out wide to the right-hand side. Here is Pippa into Sorba Thomas. Still quite far from goal. Huddersfield, as they go inside to Sinani. Back out to Jonathan Hogg. Playing a makeshift centre-back role for the last half an hour of this game. Toffolo to Hogg once again. Made 59 Premier League appearances for Huddersfield in their time in the top flight. Jonathan Hogg. Pippa. Out to Sorba Thomas on the right. He's one-on-one with Jack Colback. Goes the outside. Pulls it in. Again blocked off by Scott McKenna. The crosses needs to be better, but it's good build-up play from Huddersfield. Seeing more joy getting at this Forest defence. O'Brien. Out to Toffolo. Can he work across? It's a lifted one up towards Thomas at the far post. It will reach him, where he can take on Colback again one-on-one. Drifts it in. Headed away by Worrell. Oh, as far as Pippa. John Russell, the substitute. Huddersfield, like I say, enjoying a bit of possession here. Putting Forest under a bit of defensive pressure. Pippa goes across again to Russell. Works it back out to Pippa again on the right. Looking towards the left where there's a bit of space opening up. Hogg just about works it to Colwill, despite a nick off Brennan Johnson. Pippa tries to go to Sinani round the corner, asking too much of the Luxembourg international. And it can be seen out for a Forest throw-in in their own half. Still 25 minutes to go. And it's going to be a change here for Nottingham Forest. The only player who didn't survive the second leg against Sheffield United is going to come on, Sam Surridge. Actually, the only guy who did start against Sheffield United and didn't play this game, or didn't start this game. See if it'll be like-for-like change, see if Keenan Davis will come off. He's been a little bit uninfluential in the game so far. John Russell works out to Sorba Thomas as Huddersfield have got it back. Looking to equalise. Sinani. Thomas. Quite far away from the Nottingham Forest box. So they're having to be patient with their build-up. Thomas. Early cross he goes for. Blocked by Zinkernagel. Will we get the Forest change here? Yep, we'll have to have a moment of a stoppage. It's going to be a like-for-like change. So Keenan Davis, who might have his last game in a Nottingham Forest shirt, comes off because he's only on loan from Aston Villa. And in his loan, he made 22 appearances and came up with 5 goals. But he did more than just score the odd goal. He really helped with the build-up play in this Forest side. And he's going to be replaced by Sam Surridge. He did score against Huddersfield this season in the FA Cup in that 2-1 win. Played under Steve Cooper at Swansea on loan. And we're going to have a double change as well. For Huddersfield, Daniel Sinani comes off for number 19, Dwayne Holmes. That's one change. And the other change is Danny Ward, who's had a lack of service up front for Huddersfield. He will be replaced by fan favourite Jordan Rhodes. Came back for his second spell at Huddersfield. His first spell came from 2009 to 2012. And he's the reason they are in this final. He got the winner against Luton in the second leg of the semi-final with an 81st minute goal. So a change for Forest. 2 changes for Huddersfield, and they've now made 3 altogether. And they're at the back with their keeper now, Huddersfield Nichols. First time clearance up the field towards the halfway line. Header not won by Rhodes, won by Cook instead. John Russell heads it back towards Rhodes, who loses that a second time with a header. And it's now Jack Colback, the left wing back for Forest. He's been forced back to his own keeper, Brice Samba, who's only ever experienced 1 clean sheet in his previous 6 against Huddersfield. How he would love a clean sheet in this one. Spence. Yates ball up towards Zinkernagel. The touch is poor. John Russell. Forward to O'Brien. Bullied off the ball by Yates, but it's won back by Colwill, who nearly loses out to Brennan Johnson. Good battling on the left-hand side of there, Huddersfield. Here is Dwayne Holmes. Oh, great turn. Getting beyond Yates and Garner. Pulled to the ground, but he gets back on his feet and he's still on the ball here, Dwayne Holmes. Gets it into Toffolo, who tries to take on Jed Spence. It's going out for a goal kick, but it's been kept on by Toffolo and it falls to Spence. Cleared down the right by Yates. Backheel by Johnson. Gives it straight back to Huddersfield, to Jonathan Hogg. Brunty's here. Final score. But come on, yeah, let's get some score predictions. What were we thinking? 1-0. 22 minutes to go with any added on time. Or we could have extra time if it is a levelled game come the 90 minutes. Huddersfield giving it away though with Scott McKenna. Make sure if you are here, like and subscribe. Great amount of people in the stream tonight. Oh, today. It's only 6 o'clock UK time. Nearly 100 viewers. If we could break into 100 viewers, that'd be brilliant. Make sure you like, subscribe. All you 90 odd people who haven't liked and subscribed, make sure you do. As the game's definitely flipped, and rightly so, because Huddersfield are the team who need the goals. They've dominated possession a lot more this time, but when you've got balls like that from Jonathan Hogg going straight out of play, you know, sometimes you just think, is it your day as a Huddersfield fan? Because that pass is really poor from the club captain. With that throw-in, Worrell throws it back to Brice Samba. Plays it out to Jack Colback. He's been pressed by Pipa, but he gets the ball forward towards Zinkernagel, flicks it over the head of Tom Lees, and plays it through to Sam Surridge, back to goal, turns, looks to get the ball through, back to Zinkernagel, has to go his own way down the left as he's been blocked off with the angles by Jonathan Hogg. Just find Colback, swings it in towards the far post, headed up into the sky by Toffolo, helped away by Colwill, and then volleyed by Dwayne Holmes. This Huddersfield can just press out a little bit, but Joe Worrell tries to get it back forward into Yates. Johnson on the edge of the box, right foot, low strike towards the goal, and thankfully for Lee Nichols, it's gone wide of the post. 100 viewers, there we go, great to see. Like I say, make sure you like and subscribe, it really does help me out. We've got a 1-1, so that would be extra time, and then possibly with the outcome of penalties. But yeah, I want to try and break into 700 subscribers by the end of the stream, so make sure you help me do that. Brice Samba. Closed down by Jordan Rhodes, but he just about gets the clearance away. Headed back forward by Lees. So that's McKenna. Nodded down by Surridge, back towards Colback, who has to chase to try and recycle. And he does chase and get there, and keeps it in for Forest, who are looking to get back into the Premier League for the first time since 1999. Finished third in the Premier League in the 94-95 season under Frank Clark, who's in the crowd today. It looks like Forest are getting ready for a second change as they keep the ball with Garner on halfway. Got Colback to his left. Lays it off into Zinkernagel. Sitting off them a little bit here, Huddersfield Town. This is the last 20 minutes where they've got to really push for a goal. Their first ever season, Huddersfield, they finished 16th in the Premier League. Had 37 points, which is 4 more than the relegation spots. Despite scoring the lowest, alongside Swansea, who got relegated that season, they stayed up under David Wagner. Then had a second season in the Premier League where it ended all a little bit too wrong for them. And ended up finished bottom of the league that season. John Russell can't flick it away as far as Garner, who lifts it towards Surridge, header won by Hogg. It's now Lewis O'Brien, the central midfielder of Huddersfield, looks for a ball over the top, and he's found a lot of space down the left for Dwayne Holmes. In the box, 1-on-1 with Steve Cook. He's got players coming in, pulls it towards the edge. Brought down there. Is it a penalty? Oh, it's a dive given against Harry Toffolo. He's been booked as well by Jonathan Moss. Like I say, quick breakaway there for Huddersfield down the left. We have got VAR, who will have a check. Got a touch to it. Oh, he's been clipped. That's a penalty all day long. Harry Toffolo, who's getting on the end of that Dwayne Holmes pullback, gets there ahead of Colback, gets a touch. He's clipped there. That has to be a penalty. We have got VAR. Paul Tierney's the one who's controlling it. He's clipped him. He's clipped him. Like I say, they broke down the left-hand side with Dwayne Holmes after Joe Worrell was caught out of position. And like I say, as it was pulled back, Toffolo sprinted to try and get there first, got a touch to it, got it away from Jack Colback, and as Colback's gone to try and nick the ball away from him, he's caught him and sent him down in the box. And for me, that is a 100% penalty. Big moment in this playoff final. I can't believe he's booked him for a dive there, because there's definitely contact. They've not given it. Oh my days. I cannot believe that. They've not even let the referee go and check the monitor. Jack Colback is a lucky... Yeah, I don't believe it. He's just done one of them. He's thanking his God there. His Lord and Saviour, because someone's looking down on him there. Because I can't believe that's not a penalty. There's going to be a change for Forest. Philip Zinkernagel comes off and Max Lowe comes on. He's missed a lot at the end of the season with an injury. Out of the last 12 games with his groin issue throughout the whole season, he's had problems with. It's only his 23rd appearance in all competitions. struggling with his groin. So I think Colback will move into midfield and Max Lowe will play as the left wing back. So it's a solid 3 in midfield now for Forest. Colback, Yates and Garner as a 3 with Spence and Lowe as wing backs. But I cannot believe that's not a penalty. There's contact. He's completely missed the ball and there's contact. For me, that's a penalty. If you're watching the game, you might have a different opinion, but I think they've got that one wrong. I think that's a penalty for me. But we continue at 1-0 with 15 minutes to go. But Huddersfield do look like they could maybe nick a draw here. As Rhodes tries to flick it on towards Holmes. He does win it away from Yates, does he? No, well done, Yates. And he wins the free kick. That's really well done from Yates. Like I said, I thought Rhodes had nicked it off him the first time, but he got it away from Rhodes, Yates, and then was brought down by John Russell in the end. I don't know if you're watching the game, but for me, I just think that's a penalty. I really do. We have 2 subscribers, by the way, from 700. Let's hit that landmark. Like I say, Brunsey's here, who did design all this stuff, by the way. I do say this every stream. Like I say, all this background here and the thumbnails and everything. His Instagram is in the description if you want any work done. I don't know, anything you might need in terms of designing, he's there. It's in the description, at @BBruntsDesign. That's his Instagram handle. Go and check him out. Like I say, he sorted all this out for me. From the free kick for Forest, they get it in the box. Header won by Cook. Helped away by Sorba Thomas near the penalty spot. Helped back in the box. Headed away again by Huddersfield. But a head tennis going on. It's on the ground now. With McKenna towards the corner flag on the Forest right. And he's tackled by Colwill. And he wins the throw-in for his side. Game, a few chances, but it's Forest who lead. Ooh, big collision between Sam Surridge there and Lee Nichols as the ball was played forward, and they want to get going quickly, Huddersfield, and they can't because the ball was moving, but Surridge has stayed down, and I'm trying to see an opinion here. Here we go. On the BBC, someone said, Tom McQuillan, the most blatant penalty you'll ever see. VAR once again proving to be completely useless. So it's not me who's thinking the exact same. But like I say, the collision there, the ball was played forward in the channel. The keeper's come and collected it, but Surridge has gone right into the keeper, which I found a bit strange because Surridge was never getting there. He's just collided into the keeper, who's thankfully okay, and Surridge has come off a little bit worse. 133 people. Make sure, please, I know I don't want to sound like a broken record, but please make sure you like and subscribe. Second to last commentary on the channel. I cannot believe that is not a penalty. Harry Toffolo gets on the pullback before Colback. He gets clipped by the wing-back who's now playing central midfield. That is a penalty all day long. Robbery for Huddersfield. Really is. Seriously, something wrong there. And you wonder why no English referees are representing the Premier League, the Championship, English football in general at the World Cup in December. This is why. Because they're incompetent. Even with multiple replays, they can't get the right decision, which is so obvious. I saw it once in slow motion, once in real time, and it's a penalty. So how Paul Tierney in VAR has not seen that, and with his experience that he's got as a referee and has gone no penalty, I really do not understand. I don't know if he's trying to help his mate who's messed up in Jonathan Moss, who's thankfully officiating his last game in his career until he moves into a full-time job in VAR. So they're just keeping their jobs. Once they retire, they know they can have a backseat in Stockley Park and become a VAR guy. It's just ridiculous. It really is. And Surridge has it here for Forest as Huddersfield give it away in their midfield in their own half, which can always be dangerous, losing the ball in your own half. Yates looking for the run of Spence, who stopped the run as he thought it was blocked off. Yates still tried to play it out of play for a Huddersfield goal kick. Honestly, bizarre. Really bizarre. Like I say, 2 subscribers away from 700. Dwayne Holmes down the left channel, in behind for Toffolo. First time cross, cleared by Max Lowe. On loan himself from Sheffield United. Max Lowe. has a little bit of Premier League experience himself. Max Lowe picked up 8 appearances for Sheffield United when they were in the Premier League last season. And here comes Dwayne Holmes. He's meant to be 5'6", and I think he's got a long throw in. Now he's played it short into Toffolo. Why is no one closing him down? Free cross for Toffolo in the box. Headed one by Lowe, helped away by Garner. Going as far as Hogg, furthest back for Huddersfield. Works to the right to Pippa. Been pressed by Garner. He has to go back to Lee Nichols, the goalkeeper. Forrest can push up the field, and with 10 minutes to go, it's not quite clicking for Huddersfield yet. Pippa, the right wing back for Huddersfield, goes inside to John Russell, who's really brought a level of calmness and composure to the Huddersfield midfield. He's kept it ticking. He's been quite a good sub, John Russell. And here he is again on the ball. Helps it to Dwayne Holmes, who did start the second leg against Luton, but dropped to the bench for the final today. Worked out here to Lewis O'Brien. He's got Toffolo to his left. He'll lay it off into the wing back. Crosses it. Comes off the hand, I think, of Spence, but I think a corner has been given. I think it came off the hand of Spence. I'm not sure. But either way, a corner, a free kick in very similar positions. I think a corner has been given in the end by Jonathan Moss, who in his refereeing career did officiate 275 Premier League games in 11 years. His first Premier League game was in January 2011. Sometimes you wonder how they have such longevity in their careers, referees, when they can be that poor. Who knows? Sorba Thomas, in swinger, near post, helped away. That should be a corner. I think it is. Is it? I think it's a goal kick. Yeah, goal kick's been given. Let's have a look at a replay. I thought Joe Worrell, Sam Surridge got the last touch there. Hopefully they can show us a replay of that. No, they're not, so unfortunately we've got to take the referee's word that it was a goal kick and not a corner. But with this game, can you even trust the referees? Bruce Samba, left-footed goal kick up the field towards Brennan Johnson over his head and Levi Colwill, the man who's made the difference, but in the wrong net. Levi Colwill, 2 minutes before the first half ended, scored an own goal from a Garner cross. He does find Rhodes, works out into Toffolo on the left. They're really forging some good attacks here, Huddersfield, but that cross into the box misses Sorba Thomas. And it'll fall to Pippa as Max Lowe fails to clear on the right in the final third. Finds Russell in the box to Lewis O'Brien, who's been caught again in the box. No penalty, says Jonathan Moss. We continue with Huddersfield. O'Brien stayed down for now. Pippa's clicked it into the box towards Jordan Rhodes over his head. And a goal kick. VAR might check it. Lewis O'Brien's asking the question, but this VAR team can't even give the most obvious of penalties, so don't think you're going to get that one, mate. Let's have a look. In O'Brien. He's been caught again! Oh my word! They must check that, at least. He's got the wrong side of him, the defender, Max Lowe. He's gone right through the back of him and he's caught him. No penalty again. This is ridiculous. Like I say, I'm no Huddersfield fan, mate. I'm really not. And if it's coming across that way, I do apologise. He takes it on the turn. Max Lowe gets the wrong side. He catches him again. Oh my word. How is that not a penalty? That's twice. Oh my word. I'm checking BBC again, see if they think the same as me. Jonathan Moss, you might remember him officiating Aston Villa Liverpool a few weeks ago. He had an absolute shocker. And once again, they're having another shocker. Like I said, I'm going to keep checking the BBC, see if they have the same opinion, because they did have the same opinion about the first penalty not being given. It's the most blatant penalty ever. Yeah, they're not saying anything yet. I think that's two blatant penalties, me. By the way, thanks to everyone who's here. 145 people. Make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't. It takes 2 seconds and it helps me massively. And we've hit 702 subscribers now. Thank you for that landmark. Aiming towards 1,000. That's like the golden number. So if you can help me get towards 1,000 as soon as possible, liking and subscribing would be fantastic. We've had a break in play due to Bree Samba going down. He needed a bit of medical attention. I think he's going to be able to continue. I think it was definitely more to just break up play. Steve Cooper just having a conversation with some of his staff. Looks like he's going to be okay to continue. Bree Samba, what a shock. Ever get the gut feeling they won't Forest in the Premier League and not Huddersfield. The keeper's getting ready, even Horvath, the American, who's played 10 times this season, 6 in the Championship, 5 coming in a run that he had between February and March when Bree Samba was sent off against Stoke and he had a bit of time out of the team. But we're back underway. And it's a clearance up the field by Lees from Huddersfield towards Jordan Rhodes. Helped on towards O'Brien. Header won by Worrell. Only as far as John Russell. Deflected pass off Yates. And a throw in it is for Huddersfield Town. Dwayne Holmes on the left. Trying to find a ball inside. Goes to Hogg. Central centre half. Halfway is Lees. 5 minutes for Huddersfield to save their season. Rhodes back to goal. Keeps the ball moving with Hogg. Nice ball out wide left to Holmes. He's got Toffolo making the run forward. Jed Spence is the one, though, who cuts it out, throwing for Huddersfield. I think there's the Forest owner. Evangelos Marcanis. Big fella, that's for sure. Dwayne Holmes, long throw-in. It's a great throw-in. Header won, though, by Yates. Back to Holmes, the original throw-in taker. Can he win a corner? As it's deflected his cross. No, Jed Spence avoids it. And it can be cleared in the end. Another throw-in for Huddersfield. It's going to be Toffolo to take this time. Throws it down the line to Holmes, who lets it run across his body. Gets away from Johnson. Cross cleared by Spence. But they come again. Forest can't clear it well. Shot from afar. What on earth is that? Pippa, the right wing back. Just to let you know, he's not scored a goal all season. He decides to hit it from about 35 yards. And it's so far over the bar that, like I say, you're not seeing that ball back from the crowd. They'll probably keep that one. What on earth is he doing? Honestly, about 35, 40 yards out. Massive frustration in the fans for Huddersfield because I don't know what he's doing. And with 3 minutes to go, plus added on time, that time is rapidly running out for Huddersfield. Lees wins the header on Surridge and the goal kick from Samba. John Russell nods it to the right to Pippa. Russell in the Huddersfield half. They need to get it forward. 2 blatant penalties not given for Huddersfield. You can see that they've probably been hard done by. And the fact they've conceded their own goal, you just feel like everything's gone wrong for the team in blue and white today. Long ball towards Rhodes. He's not won a header all game since he's come on, I don't think. McKenna winning it that time. Has fell back to Huddersfield, though, so it's not like the losing of headers from Rhodes is costly. His team's still keeping the ball. I think, they've done themselves well, Huddersfield, the second half. A lot better than the first half. Had a lot more of the ball. Corberan's wanting more movement, the Huddersfield manager on the sidelines there. Russell bringing it forward. Ball into Rhodes, 1-2. Back with Russell again. Leaves it to Hogg, who works it out wide here. Sorba Thomas on the left. Taking on Jed Spence. Toffolo. Hogg to Lees. The centre-back forward to Holmes. 1-2. Back to Lees again. Out wide left. Here we go. Cross in. Can it get put in by O'Brien? He clips it in. Oh, it's an easy catch for Bree Samba. He needs to be subbed, though. He's gone down again. He can't continue. I think he's asking to be changed. This is big drama. Not sure what's happened to the goalkeeper, but he's done. He has to be substituted. That is crazy. Like I say, what a chance for Huddersfield. They've worked it really well, really patient, waiting to get the space out wide, which they got with Lewis O'Brien, and then the cross was nowhere near anyone other than Bree Samba, who's having to be substituted. This is unbelievable tension here at Wembley. And even Horvath is having to come on. the 26-year-old American goalkeeper, signed in the summer from Club Bruges, where he was backup keeper there. He's been backup keeper at Nottingham Forest. And the man who's had 4 Champions League appearances in his career comes on to play the Championship playoff final the last couple minutes, or even more maybe if Huddersfield can get a dramatic equaliser to send this to extra time. Didn't expect that. Brice Samba off. Number 1, Even Horvath on for Nottingham Forest. Change of goalkeepers. He's got to get up to speed quickly, Even Horvath. If I was Huddersfield and you have a chance for a shot that's not from a mile away, try and test this goalkeeper if you can. Some Huddersfield fans just can't look. It's too painful for them. As we're going to hit the 90th minute, let's see how much time is going to be added on here by the referee. 6 minutes of added on time for Huddersfield to supply us with a miracle. Ball forward by Forest in the midfield, straight to Lee Nichols, and Huddersfield can build from the back. They have not got long left to do it. They've had 2 blatant penalty shouts waved away, even after VAR checks. Ball down the left channel. Lewis O'Brien keeps it in. Tries to take on Joe Worrell. Good defending from the Forest captain. Cleared by Steve Cook. He's going to come straight back at him though with Dwayne Holmes on the ball. Hogg. Toffolo. Down the line it goes. Worrell's going to get there ahead of Dwayne Holmes and clear away. Throw in for Huddersfield as the Huddersfield manager's collecting the ball quickly for his side to get going again. They've won it back. Bullied off the ball there. Garner. Really well done. Cleared by Forest. Again, only as far as Tom Lees at the back for Huddersfield, who gets it out wide left towards Lewis O'Brien, who's lofted his foot in and concedes the throw-in for Forest. Some fans can't take it. Some Forest fans, the younger generation, has never seen their team in the Premier League. The last time they were in the Premier League was in 1999. And they've been up and down the Championship and League One. But their time could be now. Cook hooks away. Throwing for Huddersfield. Colwill, the man who scored the own goal before half time, shifts it to Tom Lees. It's now with Nichols. Lees again. Huddersfield need to get this ball forward. They've got 4 minutes to find a goal for extra time. Toffolo into Holmes. Tackled fairly by Spence, but he wins it back. Really poor ball that from Yates. Lifted forward towards Rhodes. Cut with the header. Full straight to Hogg. Worrell then clears. Massive volley away. Straight into the hands of Nichols. Bit scrappy here in added on time of the 90 minutes. Huddersfield 0, Forest 1. 3rd v 4th in the normal season. And it's the team finishing lower that are looking like they're going to get the victory. Pippa. Rhodes, the striker for Huddersfield, back to goal, and he goes back to Tom Lees. He keeps the ball ticking for Huddersfield Town. Toffolo. On the left is Dwayne Holmes. Finds Sorba Thomas. On the edge of the box, he goes to Lewis O'Brien all the way across. It evades everyone, and a goal kick it will be for Forest. Head in his hands for Lewis O'Brien, who on the edge of the box worked a ball in across goal, looking for anyone to get a slight touch, if that's John Russell or Jordan Rhodes. Neither of the two got that touch. It squirms behind for a goal kick for Nottingham Forest. And under 3 minutes to go, and Huddersfield season could be over. Goal kick up towards Sam Surridge, who loses out. And a throw-in it is for Huddersfield. After the touch from Surridge, he was battling with Pippa and it went out of play in the end. Forgot to keep the ball in play. On the left-hand side, Huddersfield attempt to attack again. Holmes down the line, looking for Lewis O'Brien, and out of play it goes. Forest throwing, 2 minutes to go. All technical staff waving instructions. Tension is as high as you can get it. In a match worth £170 million for the winner. Throwing long by Worrell. Had a won by Colwill. Hog battles with Garner, but Garner wins it. It's now with Brennan Johnson. Oh, Garner takes it away from him, trying to poke it forward, and it's back into the possession of Huddersfield. They clear it forward with their goalkeeper Lee Nichols. Deep into the Forest half, flicked on by Jordan Rhodes. Doesn't find a shirt in blue and white. And it's now with Jed Spence on the right. Oh, Toffolo blocks his clearance, but only as far as a throw-in. Nearly stayed in as well for him. And they're taking their time with this throw-in. Forest fans are seeing the lights. The end of the tunnel is close. 50 seconds left. Throwing down the line. Colwill clears down the channel. Oh, finds Holmes. What a ball. He keeps it. Charges down the left. Steve Cook covers. Clears into the stands. 30 seconds to go. Throw in for Huddersfield. Sorry for the noise if you can hear it. It's going to be one last chance. This is it. Long throw in for Dwayne Holmes to get it in the box. Long throw. In it goes. Header won by Spence. Back to Holmes. Left-footed cross. Out of play. We've played 6 minutes. And I think we'll hear the whistle very, very soon. Just don't think it was meant to be for Huddersfield today. Everything that's gone against them has been pretty unfair. 2 penalty shouts that, for me, were stonewall penalties, not given. An own goal right at the end of the first half, which was so unfortunate for Levi Colwill, the man on loan from Chelsea. I think as Ethan Horvath gets the ball up into the sky, Forest are high in the sky. They're on cloud 9. They're back in the Premier League for the first time since 1999. Heartbreak for Huddersfield. They came so close, but then yet so far. Nottingham Forest have done it. Wasn't the prettiest of games. Wasn't the best of performances. But the main thing is they're back in the Premier League. An own goal in the 43rd minute from Levi Colwill of Huddersfield is the reason they are up. And what a transformation it's been. You just cannot get a better story than Nottingham Forest this season. Steve Cooper came into the club where they were sat bottom of the league. Bottom of the league. Their first 7 league games, they didn't win a single one of them. And Steve Cooper came in when they were down, lack of motivation, their season going the wrong way again. He's turned them literally upside down to the opposite end of the table, getting them into the playoffs after narrowly missing out on automatics. And like I said, that second half was probably no good for the blood pressure of those Nottingham Forest fans. But it's all worth it now as they go ballistic in that stand at Wembley. They pretty much sold out all their allocation. And a party that will long live in the memory of all these Forest fans and players, because they won't stop partying until probably next week. They'll go on forever. Commiserations to Huddersfield. I feel like they're so hard done by. 2 penalty shouts that for me were penalties. You know, it's opinion based. Definitely the first one on Harry Toffolo, who was booked for a dive, but he was clearly clipped by callback in the box, and that was with about 20 minutes to go. But Steve Cooper and Forest won't care. They've done enough this season to go from bottom to playoffs to promotion. I said it before, it's not A game that will probably be remembered by many neutrals, but it will go down in the history books of Nottingham Forest. Their first ever playoff final as well ends in victory. Their first time at Wembley since 1992, where they were beaten in the League Cup final by Manchester United. This time the roles have reversed themselves. They now win 1-0 at Wembley. It is with an own goal. It's a fortunate own goal. Colwill just diverting it into his own goal instead of out for a corner or even a throw-in. But what a big, big goal. And a great team to see back in the Premier League. They took their time to get back to the big stage. But with Steve Cooper in charge, 170 million to the club for winning this match, they could have a bright future in the Premier League next season. They need to recruit well. But for now, all they care about is promotion. They'll think about building for next season in a week or two. But for now, they're going to enjoy this moment, which they thoroughly deserve. Steve Cooper came in, brought in the players he needed. I think some great signs with the likes of Steve Cook at the back, 31 years of age, vast experience in this league. Also brought in Keenan Davies from Aston Villa. Scored from vital goals, really helped link up the play as well. Brought in Sam Surridge in January as well, who came up with some big goals. Again, added to the depth of his team to keep everyone on their toes. And Joe Worrell, the captain, to bring Forest back to the big time. Very, very few chances for the team in red in the second half, but they defended so well. Clean sheet is what they ordered in the second half, and it's what they brought. Lucky they didn't concede at least one penalty when there was two big shouts for one for Huddersfield. They weren't given. You can't go back in time. You can't rewrite history now. It's Huddersfield who are back in the Premier League. It finishes Huddersfield 0, Nottingham Forest 1. And how will they turn out to be in the first division? I'll be very interested to see how they cope in the Premier League next season, their recruitment they do, if they play a similar brand of football with a three at the back that they played under Steve Cooper this season. It's all questions that we're going to be getting the answers to next season. And it's definitely a team like Forest that you want to see back in the Premier League for sure. A historic team. You know, a team that's won 2 what is now called Champions Leagues. You know, back to back as well. 1979 and 1980 winning back-to-back Champions Leagues. You know, this club has more than just history. It has a foundation now that can hopefully see them stay in the Premier League and have a good go at it next season. With jubilant scenes at Wembley. Contrasting emotions for Huddersfield. They'll have to do it again in the Championship once again. But both teams, literally both teams, last season Nottingham Forest finished 17th. Huddersfield finished 20th. You know, if you said at the start of the season that these are going to be the two teams in the playoff final, you'd go, no chance. But they've completely turned around their squads and teams and have got themselves into this position for a pot at promotion. And they've taken that chance very, very nicely. And it's even bringing Joe Worrell to tears, a man who's been at the club now since 2011, captain in place of Lewis Grabban, who's missed the end of this season with injury. And sometimes emotions are too much to take. Thanks to everyone who's here. We are coming up towards the end of the stream. We are going to wait for the Championship playoff trophy to be awarded to Nottingham Forest. Then I will end the stream. So make sure you do like and subscribe before you go. Please, please. It takes 2 seconds and it helps a lot. And it shows that you support the stream and you liked what you heard. I hope you did enjoy the commentary. It was a great game. Obviously, I know it was only 1-0, not many chances. But when it's a game with so much at stake, you know, it's just always going to be a good game in terms of tension and nerves. It's always going to make it hard to watch or listen to if you're listening to this now. But Steve Cooper, in the build-up to this game, said this: regardless of what happens on the weekend, we are going there to win. We're going there to play well. We're going there with big motivation. This football club is something different. This mentality you need at clubs like this who are wanting to break the barrier and get back into the big time of the Premier League. Come in with confidence. Like I say, it wasn't the greatest of performances for Forest under Steve Cooper, that's for sure, especially second half. But he won't mind, because they're promoted. Nottingham Forest fans are going nowhere. Huddersfield players are down, sat. Some on their knees, some to tears. And there he is, Carlos Corberán, only 39 years of age, the Spanish manager. First got into coaching at the age of 23. Now managed Huddersfield 102 times competitively. So, he's there for a project. The project started really well, and it can only keep going up for Huddersfield. Next season, they'll have to go again. They need to keep up this momentum they've got from getting to the playoff final. Not drop back down the table like they were in previous seasons under the Spanish manager. No penalties needed this time for Forest like they did in the semi-final against Sheffield United. And Nottingham have their club back where it belongs. As they're making their way up the famous Wembley steps to collect the playoff trophy. They join Fulham and Bournemouth with promotion. And Joe Worrell will lead his team up those very famous Wembley steps. Followed behind him by Brennan Johnson, who probably had one of his worst games this season, to be honest. The young Welshman really didn't get involved this game, despite being so good all season. He came into this game with 3 goals in a row. Scored in both legs against Sheffield United and in the last game against Hull. Their last game in the Championship for what they hope is going to be for a long time. And the contrast is unbelievable. A complete empty side of the stadium, and then one that is just full of wild celebrations. Met by plenty of Forest fans. Like I say, some of the younger fans who have never seen their team in the Premier League. There they've got the banners, the scarves around the head. Make sure you're here next week as well. There's going to be another commentary. Grimsby Town versus Solihull Moors in the National League playoff final, which is at the London Stadium, West Ham's ground. So if you're interested in finding out what happens with that, the team to get up to League 2 alongside Stockport County, you can come in next Sunday, and kick-off's around 2 o'clock. So make sure you're here for that next Sunday. a long season. August to the end of May. Finished 4th in the table after being bottom after 8 games when Steve Cooper took charge. Joe Worrell leads the way, collects his medal. Behind him, Joe Lolly as well, who missed a penalty against Sheffield United in the semi-final. Thankfully for him, his goalkeeper saved him because he saved the next penalty. And the club captain is Lewis Grabban, who's unfortunately missed a lot at the end of this season with injury. But he is the club captain, so I'm presuming him and Joe Worrell, today's captain, will together lift the title of the Championship playoffs. There he is, Steve Cooper. Failed with Swansea last season in this stage of the playoff final against Brentford. But a year later, he's on the opposite side, the winning side, the successful side. And he can now get a first bit of taste of being a Premier League manager next season. Worked his way up through Wrexham's youth system as a manager. Moved on to Liverpool, the youth system. Managed England's under 16s and 17s. Moved to senior football with Swansea. Nearly got them promoted. He's then jumped ship to Nottingham Forest, where he's gained promotion. And Lewis Grabban lifts the playoff title. They return to the Premier League after 23 years of hurt and pain. They are back where they belong. Steve Cooper and Nottingham Forest return to the top flight. 1999 and now 2022. It's a long time to be away from the top. But all that matters is they're back now and the future looks bright. Great scenes for Forest. Great season for Forest to go from bottom of the league to then 4th spot, get to the playoff final and to win it. You know, you've got to congratulate. Like I say in the comments there, congratulations to Nottingham Forest. 2 penalties robbed. I completely agree. Really couldn't agree more. I think Huddersfield definitely should have got at least 1 penalty. And yeah, like I say, thankfully Jonathan Moss has blown the whistle in that game, and that'll be the last time he ever blows a whistle as a referee. That was his last ever game as a ref, Jonathan Moss. And then Paul Tierney in VAR booth, also an embarrassment to English refereeing because he's not given at least one of those penalties is beyond me. But like I say, you've got to congratulate Nottingham Forest. First half, they were a lot better than Huddersfield. Got the goal, despite it being an own goal. They got the goal, and they were able to defend their lead in the second half. And like I said, as I'm sure the celebrations will continue, I'm going to end the stream here. Thanks to everyone who's here. Make sure you like and subscribe before you leave. Last commentary of the season is next week, where it's Grimsby Town versus Solihull Moors in the National League playoff final. But for me in this game, it is the end of the stream. Nottingham Forest are back in the Premier League after defeating Huddersfield Town by 1-0 at Wembley. It was an own goal that split them. Steve Cooper rises them to the Premier League. And up next for Nottingham Forest is the Premier League, where they'll be taking on the likes of City, Liverpool, Manchester United. How will they fare in the Premier League? We'll find out next season. But all that matters now, that celebrations in Nottingham have well and truly got underway.